Hi guys, I'm going to attempt to narrate this video without the interruptions of my cat playing with a bottle cap. This is a layout I made for the Hit Kit Club challenge, and that I saw on their Facebook page today, and it was about a mood board, and I really liked the colors and designs going on the mood board, so I figured I'd give it a try, and I had a picture in mind. And I apologize because it looks like this video is kind of out of frame. I don't know why, but anyways, I'm using these silver big letters from the Target dollar section. I'm going to use them as a mask on this white cardstock, and it's going to say, "Let him eat cake," because I'm using a picture of my husband trying out different cakes for our cake tasting. And so there's a picture of him trying out different cakes. Now I didn't have enough letters, so I have to do 2 words at a time. I didn't have another E, so I have to do it twice. So I'm just using an acrylic paint over it. I didn't use a watercolor because it seeped under the letters too much, so I'm just using an acrylic, and it's a blue color. I'm just drying it off, and I'm going to peel them off. So you see you get that. It's not perfect, but it's okay. I like it. So I'm going to add the eat cake. I think I probably, oh, there you go. And I zoomed in a little bit too much this time. I'm still trying to get the hang of this, but so let him, and I'm just going to keep adding, drying, and then peeling off. And then removing them. And I actually like the finish it gave them. It looks like a patinaed kind of silver, so I may use those letters for another layout or another masking project. So I'm just going to keep them. So I'm just finishing it up with the cake and painting that. And you want to be careful. I don't want to get some paint into the E, so I'm just being very careful. There you go. Painted that E down there. I'm putting some on the side. The mood board was full of different pastel colors and blues and triangle shapes, and it had lettering, and so I just went with that. And I really like the ideas of mood boards. It really is inspiring because you can go with the colors, you can go with the textures, you can go with designs you see in the mood board, and it's a great springboard for creating a layout. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mat my photo with vellum, because I plan on painting underneath that photo and I want some of the paint to show. So I'm going to do a lot of dripping. So I'm using some yellow, some orange. I make some peach and pinks, a lot of the colors that are in the mood board. And I'm just going to paint and let it drip. And I'm just mixing and adding and all that stuff. It's just a preference of how much drip you want, what color you want. Some of it dripped into the hem, but that's okay. I'm going to do some splattering, and I'm just going to keep building up and testing to see if I can see any of that from the picture, because I want it to show a little bit. So I'm adding some drips down there, and I'm just drying it up so I don't smudge it. I think my heat gun is totally warping my wooden desk too, so I gotta be more careful on how long I keep my heat gun on certain spots. I'm just heat gunning the back to help flatten it out. That helps a little bit. So I'm just seeing right here how much paint is showing, because I want the paint to show. So I'm trimming the vellum down a little bit, and I've decided that I'm going to add a little bit of like a pink, but I mix it with yellow so it comes out like a little peachy color. And so I want it to show. And that was one of the colors in the mood board. Now, even though this is a picture of my husband, it was about cake. And when I think about cake, I think about pinks and yellows and fun, colorful cakes. So I thought it worked well. So I'm just adding more color and dripping. And I'm not sure. I'm going to add some to the top as well. And dry, 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 dry. And I'm drying the back. And I'm going to adhere my vellum down. So see, with the vellum you can still see some of that paint through it, so I like that then instead of backing the picture with some pattern paper. Then I pulled out some of these Studio Calico papers. They have geometric designs, and I'm going to cut some triangles. And I think it was a color wash, I'm not sure, but as you can see here, I've pretty much this is what I want it to look like, but I'm going to pop dot every other one so they're not all completely flat. So I'm just creating a little bit of a geometric pattern with these different paper, and I freehand these triangles. I didn't use a triangle cutter, so they're not completely perfect, but they work. And of course I had all kinds of adhesive issues with the gun, with the ATG gun and the glossy accents and everything. So I'm just gluing them all down and pop dotting every other one so I get a little bit of dimension. Excuse me. So I like the way that looks. Looks good to me. And I think, so this is like a little, do I use this? Yeah, I have a little chipboard speech bubble that I glittered a while back, and I'm just going to put the word yum. And I think those are Studio Calico letters that came with a Project Life kit a while back. So I'm just gluing them down. It says yum. And I'm going to place that speech bubble up on top of the photo. I think it looks cute there. Because also in the mood board there was some splashes of gold. I'm playing around with some yellow chevron washi tape now. I'm putting some on the bottom. And I'm going to put a little cluster of things in the bottom. And those are, that little bingo card and that blue heart is from what I picked up yesterday at Michael's from the DCWV collection, vintage collection. Really like those pieces. They're not flimsy. They have a very strange texture, almost like plastic. And then I'm using some of these gold studs that I picked up as well. So I made a little cluster with hearts on the bottom, and I'm just gluing down that washi tape because it's getting old and it's losing its adhesive. And then I decide I'm going to do the triangle pattern at the bottom of the page as well. And I do pop dot every other one as well. I'm just figuring out which ones. And I'm going to actually outline the lettering in black because it makes it stand out more. Because there was some parts of the letters that, you know, it seeped in a little bit, so it made it a little wonky, but outlining the letters actually just pops them out more, and I like the way it looks. And when I outline things, I tend to pick my pen up at some spots, so I get this uneven, not fully lined line, if that makes any sense. I like the way that looks, so I tend to do that quite a lot. And my cat is playing with a bottle cap. I don't know if I have the only cat in the world that likes to play with Poland Springs bottle caps, and it has to be the Poland Spring bottle. It cannot be any other kind of bottle cap, and he just collects them and plays with them at the worst times. He's chasing it on the floor right now. So I'm just adding some white photo corners to pop out that picture. And I have this little twine and ink label, and I'm trying to think where I'm going to put it. And I decide to use one of these little labels from the dollar section at Target, and I'm going to put it under the yum. Move that little dot and put it there, and then I'm going to put that little label on it.